You've recently sponsored a bill about vets and about burns. Is that
Burn pits.
Yeah, tell me what that is.
So, Greta, we're unfortunately very familiar here in North Jersey with the toxic soup of chemicals that was at the 9/11 burn pile. We've seen all of the rare diseases that people have been affected by and how much they need support and treatment for their heroism on the pile during 9/11. We've seen those same types of diseases coming from that toxic soup, coming from the burn pits that the military has used in over 30 countries across the world. So we have veterans who have been exposed to those chemicals, and that can turn up lung problems, brain problems, and they're experiencing that now. And unfortunately, up until September, over 70% of the burn pit, the disability claims have been rejected by the VA. So what we need is a presumption that if you served in a certain area where burn pits were being used, that you're presumed to have been exposed and will get the care you need from the VA system.
Is there a causation issue? Because it seems to me the American people want to take care of our vets. Is there a problem with the causation of actually showing that whatever their cancers there's arise out of this? Is that where the choking point is?
Well, that's why we started the Victims Compensation Fund for the 9/11 victims, because sometimes these cancers show up many years later. But when you look, if you go to Burn Pits 360, that's an organization helping people who've been exposed, and read some of those stories, you'll see how the causation often seems very plain. No history of cancer in the family, and yet a very rare lung disease that's really debilitating.
Is it a little bit like Agent Orange?
I would say this is the Agent Orange of our generation. That's what we're fighting, and we don't want to wait generations until we address it.
What's the problem getting? I looked at this bill and I thought, what could possibly be a stumbling block on this? So why are we talking about this when it's been going on for a while?
So we've got to, get the VA on board. We've got to get other Congress people on board, get it through the House and then the Senate. I think some of the stumbling block is the cost of it. It's for a presumption and to treat many people that have been exposed, we're going to have to look at how we're going to pay for that. But quite frankly, I would say that's the responsibility of this nation if you are sending people into war zones.
Boy, I bet when you deal with Congress and deal with issues like this and how hard it is to get by, you sort of miss the old days when you're a federal prosecutor and can just issue issue a summons.
I have said on several occasions that being a federal prosecutor was much more black and white than working in Congress.
Yeah. Congresswoman, thank you very much for joining me.
Well, thank you so much for having me.